Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the Vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live and listening to replay. Always appreciate you all. This is once again Trust Christian in the Vault, episode 291, preparing taxes for a trust. We're interviewing the IRS enrolled agent today. Her name is Larissa Humphrey. Definitely appreciate her coming on and doing this episode. People have asked about this topic for years, so we know how important this particular episode is. We know how important this interview is, this conversation, and just what is it that we're going to be talking to her about. Particularly because we've had people at the Vault for years ask about trust and different businesses. They come with many different interviews. People have asked about accountants for many different years. Ones that they could be recommended to, obviously being recommended to one of the highest levels that you can receive, and being able to defend people in front of the IRS. So it takes away the spookiness to how to engage with them, particularly whether it's with your business or your personal situation. And so we're definitely gonna have some good questions for today. But once again, we're talking with Larissa Humphrey. She is the owner and founder of Abundant Returns, which is a tax company, as far as helping you minimize your tax liability, your accounting, things of that nature. She's definitely someone there to help you with bookkeeping. They do multiple various accounting services as well, and she has a national business. So it is something that you all can take advantage of in multiple different states. Obviously, they have a internet presence, obviously, which would be abundantreturns.com, abundantreturns.com / contact, so you all can contact them, reach out to them. Promo code the Vault. Just reach out to them and let them know that you would like to inquire about their services moving forward. They do have a really smooth engagement process with her team and the people that she's dealing with. So always appreciate, someone that has business. She's been in business for over 25 years. So it shows the longevity, it shows her integrity, it shows that she obviously is not just someone that is trying to do this. Even though we don't show our faces at the Vault and don't need to, we still share with you people that, if you want to come in contact with them, meet them in person, and still do business with them, you can. We do have private workshops at the Vault. We have our next trustee workshop coming up in April. But we definitely like to feature people like this at our workshops. She is someone that has the credibility. She has the standing on her own. So we definitely appreciate Larissa Humphrey for joining us today. Really taking the time out of her schedule to just go over, maybe demystifying some myths that are really out there in accounting and people handling their business. So appreciate you, Larissa. Is there anything you want to start off the conversation with us today?
Yes, I have worked hard for the last 30 years
30.
building this business. I just need to clarify that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
Add the
those
five.
5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll give you the extra five.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Herder. Yes. Uh,
Um,
what is probably the biggest thing that you run into preparing? And we have a large entrepreneur base, but you can answer it for entrepreneurs and employees, whatever one you prefer as well. But what would you say is probably one of the most pervading misconceptions about lowering your tax liability as an entrepreneur or as a personal person? What would you say is the biggest misnomer, or why is this so spooky? And why would you say that?
well, I think the biggest misnomer is people think they can just write off whatever they want to on their taxes. The IRS has set up rules. They are very specific. If you cross them and the IRS finds out about it, it's not going to be cute. Once they audit you, they'll keep auditing you every couple of years just to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing correctly. So, the best way to do it is just start out, follow the rules, claim the things that you can claim. I have an extensive list that I would love to send to you about what you can write off on your taxes. And that's going to tell you don't submit crazy stuff.
Right.
And that's the problem. People just don't get it. Another issue is record keeping. They don't keep any records. They think you can just pull numbers out of the air. It doesn't work like that. You need proof because the IRS is not playing with you.
When you say proof, we'll clarify proof. Is it just pure record keepings? Is it bank statements? I think a lot of people would try to depend on their bank statements alone.
Yeah, bank statements are good, but it needs to be specific. So the best way to do it is to have the receipt where you gave the money to the vendor
Right.
that explains exactly what you purchased. Because, all right, if you go to Sam's Club, for instance, well, you could buy gas, you could buy computers, you could buy food. How do we know how to categorize that? And that's why you need the receipt that's going to tell exactly what it is you purchased. And then we'll know where to put it, and then you're safe.
Okay, so when it comes to holding on to a receipt and doing these tedious things, people want to know, is it perfectly legal for them to want to lower their tax bracket?
Yes, yes, it's perfectly legal. Okay, Congress put these laws in place that explain to you how to lower your taxes. There's more information in there about that than anything else. Now, the majority of the tax savings are for businesses because the people who are in Congress, they're business owners and real estate investors and owners. They don't want to pay taxes either. So they put all these rules in place that explain to you how to not pay taxes. That's what the tax code is. So you just need to know what it says, which that's what I do. I'm an enrolled agent. That means I passed a really hard test with the IRS and about tax code, about the tax law and how it applies to individuals and businesses and trusts and everybody, all the taxpayers. So as long as you're aware of the rules and you follow them, it's perfectly legal to pay zero taxes.
What do you think of the thought process? I gotta agree to everybody that's in the chat. Shout out to Kansas, Missouri for tuning in live, listening to replay. We got San Francisco tuning in live, listening to replay. We got Texas tuning in live, listening to replay. We got Memphis tuning in live, listening to replay. Appreciate all you all for tuning in live. Definitely know you are tuning in live for sure right now and listening to replay. Uh, let's talk about the old time thing where people, a lot of the CEOs, they would claim $1 so they didn't have to take on a personal tax liability, but a lot of them will have trust in place. Could you talk about how the elite are utilizing trust as a tool to effectively own nothing, control everything, to lower their tax bracket? Could you talk about scenarios that you've encountered in your years where people are utilizing these tools, particularly trust, to effectively lower their tax bracket, to own nothing, control everything?
Well, you said it. They own nothing, control everything. So they put everything into the trust. So the trust pays all the bills for the household, for the rental property, for whatever they've got. And they don't pay anything. So they're fine with the $1 salary. They don't have to pay for anything. What do they need money for, right?
Right.
I have a friend that has got several trusts. He carries around this gigantic wallet with, I don't know, it must be 40 different debit cards in there. And because he has to be able to pay for whatever he's purchasing out of whichever trust he's trying to pay from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because if everything goes through the trust, then he ends up with no tax liability. So I've seen a lot of people. Well, that's the basic way it works. There's so many different strategies you could use, so many different scenarios. It just all depends on what you want. So what we do at my company is spend our time trying to figure out, what is it that you want? If you can tell us what you want, we can help you get there. and we'll use your trust, we'll use your businesses, we'll use your kids. It's not going to hurt them. They get money to get to the whatever dreams you have and make it happen for you.
When you talk about that, I think it's a really good point to make, that which is you got to come with a plan. You got to come
Yeah,
with a destination in mind of where you want to
right.
go, so the numbers can plan out. So could you talk about that? I'm glad you introduced that subject. Could you talk about what's called effective tax planning, where you are utilizing different various entities to mitigate and minimize your tax liability? Could you talk about how you and your company, Abundant Returns, actually helps a person grow from more of a defensive position, where a lot of people create this term called the budget? And a lot of people hate this term. They hate the term called the budget. But could you talk about what you guys do in the term called planning, tax planning? Could you talk about that? What does that really mean when it comes to tax planning, as opposed to someone sitting around playing a defensive? And that's crazy. I could give a story right now of someone that they were making over $300,000 in their business every year, and they were actually claiming negative. So they were looking to get money back from the government, and they were. And the government came after them recently and said, you owe us $179,000. Now you can either let us see your books and how you claimed this negative, or you can just give us the $179,000, and we'll put you on a payment plan. How would you like to pay?
Oh my God. Yeah, they needed some tax planning. Well, let me give you a scenario of one I did recently. A young attorney, he had nothing. He lives in an apartment and, you know, nothing. So, and he's very young, just out of law school, maybe 2 years. Well, he got this case that put over $1 million in his pocket, one case. So he came to me and said, oh my God, what am I going to do? How much taxes does the government want? And I said, at least a third of it, probably a little more. Oh, don't forget about the state. So probably about 40, 47, almost 50% of that money the government would like to put in its pocket.
Right.
And he was like, oh no, don't want to do that. So what I did is set up 2 trusts and a foundation. So one was a business trust, one is a family trust. And the business trust became partners with his law firm. Actually, I set up 2 law firms for him. And so, and an advertising agency, as a matter of fact. So we set up 3 businesses, 2 trusts, and a foundation. But what ended up happening is the business trust was a partner in one of his law firms. So the business trust was a 98% partner, as a matter of fact. So what came onto his personal tax return was just 2% of the profits, and I can't remember how much, but he ended up getting a refund of all the money that he paid in, because we had to put him on payroll. So he has a W-2 from each of those companies, not the trusts, or not the foundation, just the companies.
Mm-hmm. On the public side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what that does is makes it legitimate. When you have payroll, it
Right.
legitimizes your position. I am an employee of this company. So all the money he had to pay in through payroll taxes, he got that back when we filed his return. But what helped the most was he made a $350,000 donation to his foundation. So that gave him that $350,000 write-off on his personal return.
Right.
So now he bought a house in the family trust name, so that trust is paying for all the expenses of him living in the house. And it was great. And there's nothing the IRS can say, because everything we did is 100% legitimate. It's all legal. The tax code spells it out.
It's so interesting to hear how effective tax planning can literally keep your life intact, not destroy your life, literally keep your life where you enjoy it and people are still happy. Think about it. Charity is to lighten the burden of government by doing some charity. So his charity is to do charity, period. It's a charity. And so
That's right.
it's not that it's not to do charity, but for him to receive that benefit, that's something that it's just a benefit.
And
So
look,
go ahead.
oh, look at that. He gets to go and play. He wants to help the puppies. He likes homeless puppies. So that's what his foundation does. It cares for homeless puppies. Now, he's got limited time right now because he's real busy making that money being an attorney. But when he feels like it, he goes to play with the puppies. The charity pays for it. Everything's legal and he's enjoying what he's doing. So it's whatever you want. That's what we do at Abundant Returns is figure out, well, you got to figure out what you want. And then we'll come up with the plan to make it happen. And you're not going to pay any taxes on top of that.
Right.
What else do you want?
Okay, so let's get a little bit more nitty gritty with. I like getting rid of those myths because there's a lot of apprehension, even sometimes with people with money, where they don't take advantage of the tax planning
Right.
perspective, whether it's before they get the million or after they get the million. Could you talk about the time process, the expectations that you have as a person that's working with a client? What are the expectations traditionally in a relationship of planning? A lot of people come from backgrounds where they are very apprehensive for IRS dealings and taxes and things. So coming to someone that's kind of has the middle, the referee ground, such as yourself, what would you say to people that, with the expectation coming to a referee such as yourself saying, okay, you can represent me, you can help me win. What does our relationship look like? I've never had a relationship with an enrolled agent before and their company. What does that look like? And how long does that usually take to solidify that relationship?
Okay. What we like to do is have you um get a tax plan. A tax strategy is what we want to put in place for you. So we meet with you at least quarterly, and that would be, um, with me, the tax person, or with our business consultant who would help you grow your business. Because growing your business is the main part of this. We can get more money, you're happier, we got more options. More money gives you more options, so
Right.
there are more strategies we can do if you have more money to work with. So we meet at least quarterly. Now is the perfect time at the beginning of the year because it gives us enough time to get to know you, get to know what you want, put everything in place, because the deadline for 2020 to make sure you have a great tax strategy in place and pay zero taxes is December 31st. So as long as we do everything we need to do before then, you would be in a great position.
Did you mean to
So
say 2021?
what year am I in?
We're
Okay.
we're in 2021. But I mean, even people that like, and I want you to maybe answer this after you answer that question, which is people that are doing stuff from 2020. Maybe how you can help them to handle minimizing if it's too late. All those questions because everybody always wants to know. I found out about this afterwards, so how can I take advantage of it before I file my 2020? So if you can.
Yeah, there are a few things we can still do to help you out with 2020. But yeah, the deadline was December 31st for 2020.
Right.
Okay. But knowing what we know there are some ways you can get write-offs for things that are not taxable to you on your personal return. So that's going to save you some money. We also just have a lot of knowledge of the tax code, so we know what you can write off and what you can't. Um, yes, we would be able to help you with 2020. We would need you to, give us all your documents, and then your tax preparer would go through it to see and ask you different questions about whatever things that you've done, and then we would take all that into account to prepare the return.
Okay. Okay. Pretty seamless process there with the people that you have on staff. Obviously, you have a huge staff that can handle people inquiring and do business with you guys and stuff of that nature. So,
Hmm.
um, well, I get some people always want to hear the softer side of it. What made you want to do what you're doing and even go as far as becoming an enrolled agent?
Oh, well, I was watching TV and I saw that Ross Perot paid less than $2,000 in personal income taxes. Now, Ross Perot was a billionaire then, and I made $35,000 that year. So I was like, how in the world? Because I knew I paid $4,000 to federal taxes, and then I paid another 2,000 to the state. I'm in Georgia.
Hmm.
And so that means I paid more than $6,000 in personal taxes on $35,000 that I made, while the billionaire paid 2,000. I paid triple the taxes a billionaire paid. So I have to calm down. I still get mad about that. That just ooh. So I said, okay, there is something to this tax thing. So I went and took a local tax class. Then I went to work for the IRS. And then I became a certified tax coach and tax strategist. And that's where I really learned about all the different things that you can do to save taxes. So, and the tax code is full of them. It's full of them. There's so many different ways you can decrease your taxes, but you just have to know what to do.
What do you think about the term quote unquote hiring the right professionals? Could you talk about people in your field over the years up until now, how you've seen a lot of the shakers really fall off, the people that didn't have integrity in your field, but now you see that, integrity has played a large part in what makes people come to you and trust you and refer people to you and um, really continue to come back and forth, come back, and keep coming back and keep coming back, and just people really increasing your business and you increasing your business throughout the years, whereas others have fell off. Could you talk about that throughout the years?
Yeah, the majority of my new clients do come from referrals. That's true. Because people are telling their friends how we're able to help them figure out their destiny, put the entities in place that they need, structure everything, tell them how to pay zero taxes. That's a big one right there.
Hmm.
Something about not paying taxes people seem to like. We just help you along the way. My team has over 200 years experience.
Hmm.
So we're here to guide you and help you, show you what you need to do and how you need to do it. Make sure everything in place is correct so that you don't have a problem with the IRS. Um, I still see when new clients come in, they bring their tax returns, and I'm like, what in the world were they doing with this? Because just because you got some letters behind your name doesn't mean you know what you're doing. So when you're choosing a professional, you need to talk to someone who understands where you're coming from and what you're doing and where you're going, because that way they can help you get there.
Right, and that's very, very important, is to have guided professional experience. I think that takes away the apprehension that's there. I remember when I really looked at it and distilled it down, I was like, okay, this is just an accounting agency. People, they're doing accounting, and the mentors always said, they said, you always want to report. That's the main thing you want to do, is just report them. There was recently a case in the news. Is a billionaire, black gentleman named Robert Smith, and they actually came after him for tax evasion, and he actually pleaded, I would like to say, guilty. And because he pled guilty, he had to pay, I think, about $100 million in taxes or more. Definitely had to pay about 100 plus million dollars in taxes. Remember, he didn't go to jail for tax evasion though. Like I say, he settled out in court, and it was really because of a bad business partner. The business partner set up the charity bad. They set up the charity where this guy set up a charity where he's the beneficiary of the charity. His daughter's a beneficiary of the charity. His wife's a beneficiary of the charity. First of all, how are you gonna be a beneficiary of the charity? The charity's for the public. But
Oh, wow.
clearly, this guy's a billionaire, and he didn't understand that,
He
or
needs a
whoever set him up.
foundation.
He exactly. He was in a charity, and he still, once again, was in an incorrect position, and so it caused some backlash because Robert was associated with this guy. This guy gave Robert quite a few millions and billions of dollars to invest, and he was making this money back to the charity, obviously. In an unscrupulous way, just going back to the charity, which ultimately led to, Robert having to kick out $100 million. But when you're a billionaire, hey,
Not a
when,
big deal.
when you're a billionaire, you can lose $100 million and he'll be perfectly fine. Um, someone said that they disliked the paper. Could you talk about even the emotional sentiment that you get from even wealthy people or people that have money that are uneasy about dealing with the IRS? Could you talk about that? Because some people think, oh, it's just because I don't have any money, I got a bad relationship with the IRS. It's like, no, quite a few people that have money still are very uneasy about that. Or in your experience recently, or over the years, that people that have money, they're a lot more friendlier towards the IRS. What would you say about that?
No, I would say nobody likes the IRS. Friendly? No. They like to play this game with you. I've been to several audits, and the auditor will act like, "Oh, I like y'all. Y'all are my friends." All the while they're stabbing you right in the back, because they have to try to gain your trust to get you to explain how you have done wrong, and that's all they want. So I haven't met anybody that likes the IRS, including the people that work there. They don't like it either. It's I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
care how much money you have, you still don't want to pay. I don't care how much you got.
Okay, great. And so when it comes to just putting yourself in the correct position of trusteeship, own nothing, control everything, then the position is the mentality that people should be caring more about. And that's where people such as yourself come and play, because you deal with the structures, you know about the numbers and how the numbers are going to play out in specific structures and things of that nature.
Yes.
um, and so that's very, very important for everybody that's listening to the chat. Feel free to type any questions into the chat. We definitely got her on here for some time here, and we're going to do our best to get as many questions as we possibly can. This is preparing taxes for a trust interview, and so she's already laid out, some of the stories that she's dealt with, clients that she's dealt with, and these are things that are going on right now in her business, how she's growing it, and things of that nature. So we always love seeing success. Obviously, she has a national business. I'm pretty sure she can handle international clients that want to do business in the states, because all she's doing is just making sure you can handle yourself in the states,
That's
and
it.
that's really, really important. It was funny because back in the day, one of our mentors said that America is one of the greatest tax havens. What would you say to that statement if someone said that to you?
Depends on how much money you're talking about. Trying to I don't know what you want to call it. Do
Right,
whatever you're trying to do with it.
right, right, right.
But yeah, we got some great laws in place. America is built for the businessman because, like I said, everybody in Congress has a business or is a real estate investor. So they make laws to benefit themselves, and it just continues on and on. You don't see them changing. Even when Trump came in, I was thinking, oh no, he's gonna mess up my thing. But no, he put more good stuff in place for businesses.
Right.
So that is the ticket. That's the way to go. Have a business and then use trust to complement it. Make it work.
So, okay, we got a question in the chat for you. So, how does the IRS require accounting for foreign currency donations?
for foreign currency donations?
Yes.
So you mean you're going to give to an American
Ex-
charity?
right. Very important part of the question. So if you can hear that and you're listening and you typed your question, just answer that part and we'll get back to your question, which is, like we say, the individual asked, how does the IRS require accounting for foreign currency donations?
Well, what the IRS requires on the return is just the amount that was donated. Um, if you're talking about an American charity,
Right.
so we don't. The IRS doesn't go to look at what donations you receive to see how it is accounted for. If you say you received $4 million, they're gonna say, okay, if there's an investigation into the charity and they go back to look at the donations, then they would make sure that that is exactly how much money it was received. So this money is reported in American dollars. So as long as you can prove that you received 4 million American dollars, then you're all right. I guess that answers your question.
And that's what I mean. It's so much, so many misconceptions out there, and it's really so much just misinformation out there about these type of topics. And so basically, the question is accepting in foreign currency. So let's just say a person has a trust and they're accepting money in foreign currencies other than the United States. Would they report that on a tax return for the actual trust in the United States tax return?
Yes, but you were reported in American dollars. So whatever you got, it's whatever the equivalent is in dollars.
Okay, okay, okay. To cover yourself. She just told you, ladies
Mhm.
and gentlemen, you don't need Trust Christian to give you all the holy word. This is somebody that's speaking from a perspective that's trying to help you save some money here, ladies and gentlemen. So you heard what she said. She says help you save yourself so you don't go to jail and save some money. This isn't not about saving money. So if you have to report foreign money on the trust document, the trust, then that's what you got to do, ladies and gentlemen, because one of our mentors told us you got to treat the trust as if it was a public trust, especially if it's a private trust. Treat it as a public trust, so you can still be able to maintain, if something were to happen where inquiries did come, you're still able to provide things in a way in which shows the level of privacy, but at the same time shows that you're doing proper diligence and record keeping. So could
Mhm.
you talk about bookkeeping, how much it usually costs for people, what are people, the benefit of bookkeeping on a monthly basis or quarterly basis, something so minimal as that. Could you talk about how that really is like the crimp in the hourglass for making sure that your business is solid?
Yeah, that's your proof that you're doing what you're supposed to do is having your bookkeeping done. Um, that's where we are able to legitimize all your write-offs because you have the proof that you paid it because it came from, this source and was paid to whatever source. So that's what you need in order to document everything so you can make sure you can prove your case if you should ever have to against the IRS. It's your financials that do that. And that's what's produced when you do bookkeeping. Now, the price is going to vary depending on how much work it is. I think we start around 200 a month, but it can go up from there because of how much work it is. But it's so worth it because what you get are those financial documents that you can use to, well, number one, get your taxes done, but you can use it to get loans, go into partnerships with other people, establish all kinds of things, other businesses. So it's so very important to have your bookkeeping done. If you don't have your bookkeeping done, it's like you have nothing. You have no basis. You have no, you can't prove anything. It's like the basic thing you need if you're gonna call yourself running a business.
And it's interesting because so many entrepreneurs are like strapped for cash. They're trying to do ventures in their part time. Everybody's trying to do this whole part time work from home business stuff. I'm gonna work from home and do business, and they're definitely griping about the price of startup costs. Especially the ones that are doing these home based businesses. They're griping about the startup costs, and one of the parts of the startup cost is once again monthly record keeping. And people say, well, I'm not making money in my business right now, so why would I need record keeping done? That would be a good question for you. Is I don't have any money flowing. Do I need record keeping? What would you say to that?
Yes, you need record keeping. The IRS requires you to have record keeping.
Right,
It's not like it's an option.
right,
So, what people don't understand is we provide a lot more than just adding up your numbers. So, you're saying you're strapped for cash, you don't know where to go, you don't know how to run a business. We can help you with that. We can provide guidance on how you can get more cash. Maybe we have an idea. Look, we deal with thousands of business owners. Maybe we're hooking you up with somebody. Maybe we can give you an idea about another way for you to make money in that business because we got 5 other clients in that same business that are doing this and it's bringing them in X amount dollars a month. So there's so much more to getting your records produced, doing your bookkeeping when you come to abundant returns. Now, I don't know what everybody else is doing, but we help our clients succeed. And that's because we have the knowledge that every business owner needs to do what they're doing. We can make you better. It's just what we do.
right. It's interesting because so many people have never really experienced being able to get in contact with someone that has a high level of area of expertise and track record. It's so many people just popping up and doing businesses here and there. And then, obviously there's an abundance of, these franchises of, the H&R Block or the TurboTax or these different places to offer people different services. And it's so important because we preached this to the front of all for years now about relationships and going out and establishing relationships with high end talent such as yourself, someone that has become an expert in their field and can actually give you tangible results. Like you say, you have people that you can give references to, that you're helping people succeed. Case study after case study, obviously from for years you've been doing this. But it's just so interesting to see the marketplace and a lot of the misunderstanding of the relationship that you get when you have an accounting firm, not just an accountant, but an accounting firm that like a team such as yourself, that you guys have tons of experience. People have area expertise in multiple different areas. um, so now people aren't going to Uncle Joe or Uncle Larry. They're coming to a firm that has, like you say, they can offer you more than just, oh, it's let me run your numbers and play your numbers out. It's literally a relationship that says, hey, we know some businesses that are doing the same exact thing. This may be able to add to your bottom line, or establishing and crossing a relationship over and passing a relationship of another entrepreneur to another entrepreneur. These are some of the strategic plays that, if you don't have the experience, having a good accounting firm can help with that. Specifically in the early years of a business life entrepreneur or investor, because you don't have that experience. You can, like you say, you can make some money. Next thing you know, you make, and then you go to someone like her with her firm, and they're looking at it like, well, you've actually been overpaying for years now, right? Or that we have a strategy we can show you right now that you could have been implementing, and we can show you the laws to substantiate this position.
Hmm. That is so true. Normally, when people come in, we look at their last 3 years of taxes and get them an average of about $9,000 back, around $3,000 per year. That either the other firm just missed, or didn't know, or didn't put on there, or whatever. But that's a lot of money. If I could have $9,000 right now, I'll take it.
Got it right there. Got that right. Right.
Hmm. But then going forward, we're able to set up a plan to where you don't just get, $3,000 a year. You stop paying taxes. It's zero taxes because we know how to set you up so you're in a position to pay zero taxes.
Right. 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 Okay. Uh, it's just interesting when we get to these topics such as taxes. They're so sensitive. I stand in a room with high net worth individuals at times, and they're still very, very hesitant, very tentative. And it's partially because a lot of them, they're not tax experts. They're not tax, experts at all. And so they really try to shy away and stay away from it, because, it's like, well, why are you guys even talking about it in this environment in the first place? But they do address it quite a bit, in our environment. They definitely address, um, different taxes, specifically a lot of foreigners, going from one jurisdiction to the next, whether it's based off your residency and things of that nature. And like I say, when it comes to being inside of the United States, a lot of people are trying to come move into the United States, and so because they have these foreign businesses, now they have to set up an American business, or they really obviously want to put themselves in the best tax minimized position as well, being in another country, because then they're going to get double taxed, because it's either they're making money and taking it back home, or they're making it in two different jurisdictions, and they're being tied down now to a tax liability in multiple jurisdictions. So they come over and they seek people such as Larissa, for her experience, and things of that nature. Is there any other examples you could possibly give to people? How, I mean, you're obviously a zero to hero, example, but, going, taking people from, just different positions. And it's always interesting because it's like, well, what are some of the apprehensions that people have, but then they end up doing business with you? So maybe it was a family situation that made them change their mind, or it was a situation where they went to another accounting firm and they said, okay, they were charging more, but they were giving me less. What would be actually your unique selling proposition at your company?
It's the guidance. Every day when I talk with my clients, they say that the biggest deal is that we give them the guidance they need to make the right decisions. So a lot of the entrepreneurs, um, now they're very intelligent people, but even as smart as you are, you just don't know everything.
Right.
And do a lot of listening to they, because they're always telling me, well, they said I should do this, and they said I should do that. I don't know who this they is, but they really need to shut up. You need to listen to people who have the knowledge in the on the question that you're asking.
Right.
So, but instead of listening to your friend who's not as advanced as you are, which I really don't understand, but that's okay, that's over my head. So that's what I get a lot, is that they are so glad to be at Abundant Returns, because they know if they have a question, they can ask us at any time.
Okay.
And we'll get back to them to say, okay, this is the best way to go, or we'll explore other opportunities for them. We're just doing everything we can to help our clients succeed.
What what would you say made you actually put that in your model as opposed to just taking a traditional approach of doing accounting, doing record keeping, doing tax filing?
Well, it's true. I've had lots of mentors, and they have all been saying, don't say that. It sounds too good to be true. But it is true. What do you want from me? um, because that's what we do. So, I, because I want people to know that's what we do. That's why it's in our motto.
Great. That's great. That's great. So once a person, and it's crazy because sometimes people get so stuck in the muck of just trying to reduce their tax liability that they don't really even get to the name of your company, which is called Abundant Returns. They don't really get to that point because it's a hard transition to go from poverty mentality and desperation mentality to abundant and thriving mentality. When a person gets that plan in place and you start seeing success light up on their face from year to year, through tax planning, and seeing people really just straighten out their life, it's crazy because I'm sure you can see that there's just a huge lack of even accounting information in the public school system and education in general.
Definitely that huge lack of. They don't tell you anything about how to do that unless you take accounting courses. and whew, they're not easy. Not easy at all.
When you hear people say, culturally that black people aren't good at math, what would you say about that in respect of how you, a black woman, that how is it that you were able to do it? And would you encourage more people to engage in the practice based off of your experience?
I think black people can do anything they want to do. I didn't start out as studying math, but what happened was I got so engaged in my pursuit of why am I paying triple the taxes a billionaire paid that I got good at whatever I needed to get good at. I mastered my craft, I honed it so I could do this and save people lots of money on taxes. But people can do whatever they want to do if they put their mind to it. That's my thought. I've seen it, I've done it, so I know it's true.
And now I'm about to ask you a question that goes into something that actually makes you really good as an entrepreneur. And so many people fall into this trap, which is they become the expert for their life. They're the only expert, they're the smartest expert in the room. You have built a team. What has made you build a team, trust your team, and understand the concept that things happen when you have the right team around you?
Ooh, that's so true. What made me build a team? Because I couldn't do it by myself. Once you get to a certain point, like right around $1 million, man, you can't do it by yourself. You probably can't even get to 1 million by yourself. But you need help, and you need people who specialize in different areas to help you. And I can say that I truly have that in place finally after all these years of messing around. I guess I was just trying to be cheap and not hire the people with the expertise that I needed. Bad mistake. It cost me more than I could have ever imagined. I should have just hired the right people in the first place. But I hired tax preparers that have licenses, CPAs and EAs, so that they are skilled in that. My COO has several degrees. She has an MBA, and she has I can't think of that other thing. But I'm sorry, well, if you ask me, she's got a doctorate on how to run a business because she surely has put mine together. But that's a big mistake. Not hiring unqualified people is bad, bad. But when you're struggling for dollars, you make a bad decision like that. Now, if you come in and ask me today, I would say, no, don't hire that unqualified person that you can hire for, whatever minimal wages, because they're going to cost you more in the long run. And I see that.
That's important. So many people, they miss that team building concept. Could you even delve a little bit deeper on why is it that you're not the COO of your company, and talk about maybe some other people that you have on your board, maybe how your structure looks internally, how many positions you have that are helping you run the company, and what is their specific roles, and what value do they bring to the company, how they've kind of helps you kind of minimize your hand in that particular activity that they're engaging in and managing at this point.
Okay, the reason I'm not the COO is because I don't know how to run a business. I played at it for quite some time, but I don't really know. I didn't go to business school. I just kind of fell into my craft. I am really good at doing taxes because I'm very detailed and I'm looking for that money. And another reason is because to me, your taxes or your situation is like a puzzle. I have always loved puzzles since I was a little kid. And when I'm doing your taxes, I'm just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So I'm enjoying this. I love it. So, but doing taxes doesn't make you a person that can run a business. I don't know. That is not my strong suit. I can put a plan together. I can do your taxes. I can put you in a great position. But as far as how to run the business, putting all the different processes in place, that's horrible. I hate it on top of that. But my team, my team is good at that. So yeah, the people that are in place because they're good at their particular craft. And that's what every business owner should look for, an expert. And I hired people who are more educated and in the areas that we're talking about so that they could help me. So I have a CPA on staff. He's got like 37 years experience, I think. And when I have a question, I ask him. And sure enough, he knows. If he doesn't know, he'll go look it up. And I learn from him. So that's major when you're running a business. Because the next time I don't have to ask him, I know where to go to find that type of question. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. So you have a CPA for the company, you have a COO. Do you have any other positions that are there to help and aid you in your process?
Yes, we have a client relations manager who makes sure all the clients are happy. They get what they need. They go where they need to go. They see who they need to see. So he just kind of takes care of the clients. He's the concierge. I have an executive assistant who helps me with, because she told me I get over 300 emails a day. So I needed help trying to get my part of it so I can concentrate on dealing with my clients and helping them to do what they need to do. I have an enrolled agent who specializes in taxes, just doing the taxes, making sure they are correct. She is so very accurate. And I have a payroll specialist because when you do a tax plan, you have to have payroll to complement your plan, because you have to be an employee of your company so you can enjoy all the benefits that are in the tax code for an employee. So I have a payroll specialist that does that. And then I have a director of bookkeeping. Now, what she does is help to make sure that all of your bank statements, your bookkeeping records, your financials are correct, and that they are at your fingertips when you need them. Because many times clients call us and say, hey, I'm trying to buy a house, or hey, I need to get a loan, and they need their financials for that. So what she does is make sure that she gets that information to them. Now, she has 3 accountants under her. So those are the other 3 positions. And that's my staff.
Okay, great. And as you were speaking, I thought about this question. Why is it a disadvantage, or what are your thoughts on someone being a 1099 employee of their company? And then I want you to comment on people actually living through their company and doing it the wrong way by, like you say, not being an employee, and in turn, they're basically living through their company, which is basically an alter ego, or a disregarded entity. And could you talk about that not being classified properly with the company, and in turn how that can bring up some issues, and what's the advantage of either 1099 or W2? Could you talk about that?
Okay, first of all, you really can't legally be a 1099 with your own company. A 1099 is a contractor, it's an independent contractor, and you can't really say you're independent of your own company. So a lot of people get into a lot of big trouble trying to say, well, I'll just do a 1099 for myself. No, that is not the way to go.
Mhm.
So if you want to stay out of trouble, don't do that. Now, people living through their companies. Okay, we got one client that came in last year, well, the year before. He made $3.2 million, and he paid himself $60,000. Come on now. Now, his lifestyle did not say I live on $60,000. Because he I can't remember what kind of big car he's driving, but it's a car costs more than $60,000. So how can you say you can live on that? So we had to really, now he didn't get caught. The IRS didn't figure it out yet. So hopefully we've got him restructured and he's good to go. But he's got, if you make that kind of money, you got to pay yourself a reasonable salary. They call it reasonable compensation. And if, when they audit you, what they do is they first look at your bank statements, business and personal, and then they see what kind of car you're driving, how much your house costs. They want to see all the documents where you purchased the house. They sometimes they'll come to your house and they'll look at your closet. What kind of clothes are you buying? Do you have a Gucci bag? What are you doing? Where's your money going? And then they can easily figure it out, because most people don't use cash anymore, but they got ways to catch cash too. Don't think you can get away.
And I mean, we could easily go there even about that Bitcoin stuff. We haven't gotten there yet. I still want you to answer that question, but I mean, I think we should end it for sure on the Bitcoin stuff for sure, because I think it's just such a like sensitive topic. People are really putting money over there right now. But definitely, I'll let you finish that question. But because like I say, living through the businesses. I mean, this is just straight up the honest truth. Do you know how many people have LLCs and C corps that are disregarded entities and they're just living through it? And some people are trying to exercise this BS rule of, oh, you can wait 3 years before you file the taxes with a business.
Oh,
You could even talk
you
about that
cannot.
too. So just I would love for you to talk about these things.
Well, anytime your business has income, you are required to file a tax return for that business. Um, and I don't even know what else to say. What else, Christian?
Well,
You
like I
have
say, no, just living through the business. A lot of people are living through their businesses, and I know you can help them clean it up. If you can even say, maybe a reason why they. I mean, we know that they need to come to you and talk to you about it, but just something along those lines about, the maybe some of the reasons that scared them away from continuously living that way and living in denial and not actually contacting you. For because they're still living through the business, they haven't got it properly classified.
mhm.
Do you recommend clients to file the 1120 for it to be a separate, distinct legal entity?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on your situation, what you're trying to do, what do you want, where are you going.
Okay. Okay. And
But what should scare the mess out of people is the IRS. It's real. They will come. They will take everything you have. They will have you in court for years. Ugh, you don't want to deal with them because they will audit you every couple of years to make sure you're doing what they told you to do. They will beat you down. They're horrible. That's what should scare you.
right.
So you can keep playing these games with this money if you want to, but you don't have to, because there's an easy legal way for you to do it. We can help you. We can tell you how to do it. If you want a Gucci bag, we can tell you how to get one. We got one client just bought a $200,000 Porsche. Of course, us conservative accounting type people, we were like, oh my God. But that's what he wanted. So we helped him get it. We showed him what to do. We're telling him how to write the whole thing off. He's good to go.
Wow. Okay, so we got a question in the chat. What about being employed by the corporation that is the beneficiary of a trust?
Yeah, that would work. That's fine. As long
Okay.
as you're getting a W-2,
Oh,
not just writing yourself a check from the business account.
right. Right. Uh, does she give a LLC structure consultation for the state of Florida? So they want to know, do you give a LLC structure consultation for Florida? Can your team?
Yeah, we do that.
Okay. Okay. Okay, and then the last question. Appreciate you. We got you an hour. We're gonna wrap it up for sure here. If you could just end it, even with what you want to share with other people, share with on your mind. But definitely about the Bitcoin tax situation. Is there anything that you can do to help? What have you encountered so far over the past 2 or 3 or 4 years where you may have gotten some clients that have come through with it? I don't know if you want to speak on it on the air, but it's up to you. So, just want to throw it out there.
Hmm. Well, this Bitcoin thing, the reason that us accountants don't like it is because there's no structure. It can change value at any time. We don't know what to do with that. So you could buy something and it could be worth $14, and then the next day it's worth $1.50. So it's like, what do we do with that? That's the problem with Bitcoin. I even heard the city of Miami wants people to start paying their property taxes with cryptocurrency. I was like, what? What are they thinking? And they want to pay they don't want to have a retirement system anymore. They want to pay the people that work for the city in crypto something. I was like, now see, that's crazy. Why would anybody want that? It's good if you can get in there, make some money, and get out before it goes down, but how do you know when it's going down? So it's not my thing.
Yeah, great. And I mean, we always like to ask our experts, what their thoughts are on it because, it's one of the most it's just huge media marketing play nowadays. You see how extensive these things are. It's in abundance, just how much the media will really attack people's senses and make them go off emotional plays, and people don't have any type of logical explanation for anything other than what's going up. It's like, okay, the housing market's been going up, but you don't have any real estate. You got that. You got Bitcoin, but you don't have any real estate. And the real estate market is the real estate market hasn't had those type of dips like this Bitcoin stuff is that it does. The volatility, the swings that it has.
Mm-hmm.
And the real estate is something tangible. Bitcoin is still very intangible. And then, like I say, people are trying to pull it down into dollars. And when they pull it down into dollars, they're trying to basically trying to, they consider it black money in the marketplace at this point. It's money that people are almost hiding, doing illegal transactions and things of that nature. And it's unfortunate right now that people are. This is something that has really changed obviously the way financials are looking, and a lot of people, even accountants like you say, aren't confident in when people bring them, oh, I made this money off crypto. Well, what do you do with that? You just made illegal money. It's not legal right now. How do you report that? And so these people they're living these lifestyles. They're living these lifestyles that, like you say, the IRS is, you didn't claim, you didn't do this, but you're living in a mansion, you're living with a Ferrari, and you have this crypto money. Of course, when you have money, you can stave off with lawyers and things like that for a while. Having even good accountants, try to get some businesses going and things like that. But you're still giving your accountant a hard time when they're looking and saying, okay, we just started a business based off of crypto money. Crypto money is not technically money in the United States. It's just a foreign currency that they trade. It's not a United States domestic currency. And so, it's just a lot of questions around these things, and I think it's important to really keep talking about these things because there is a media play and people's emotions are getting played on, and people are going to go for broke before they go for rich. You got to remember, you're not smarter than the people that created the system. Whoever created Bitcoin obviously knew what the hell they were doing when they created it and didn't even want you to know who they are, but you believe that this asset is going to go up, and you don't even know the owner or how it's created or anything of that nature. So, we appreciate you, Larissa, for coming in, and just I love your energy and your obviously your attention to detail and the way that you work. And I know that there's a ton of people that are going to reach out to you. I don't want money to be an issue for people because I always know it's like, well, I got to pay up front or I got to do this, and it's like, look, it takes money to make money, ladies and gentlemen. But what happens when you put protection tools such as having a team of 200 years of experience working for you? That little bit of money goes a long way.
Yes.
And people have asked us for years, oh, you have an accountant? Do you have an accountant? We're giving you the highest level of education and discernment you can have dealing with the IRS. Now, you can go back and replay the episode and hear all the great things Larissa said. You all can look into the chat, the description, abundant returns, the email for her to get in contact with the company is there. Promo code the vault. Feel free to reach out. And once again, let them know what your needs are, ladies and gentlemen. People, if you don't ever take the first step to get the right people in place. Look, she even says she has people that are smarter than her at their area expertise. Please follow suit. That means you're in good company. That's what we bring you all at the vault. Good company, people that they have the track record, they have the credibility to do what is it that they're going to do. We brought to you people throughout the past, but this is someone that's on the accounting side, especially at this time of the year, and it's just such a critical element. So many people, oh, I'm going to make money, I'm going to make money, or I'm trying to make money, I'm trying to make money. But what happens when she told you, are you just good at what you do and you need to hire a team of experts? But that team of experts is not always just a one shift type tool. When you're working with someone such as her caliber, you're working with a firm. That's why y'all can talk to her right now, because she has a team. It's not just Uncle Larry and Uncle Joe accounting. You're getting a team, and they're looking to bring more years and expertise than you ever could have asked for, because that's what happens when you surround yourself with good people. There's hidden benefits, there's hidden jewels to be in good company. That's what you're paying for when you deal with a company such as Abundant Returns. You're dealing with a company that has, they're not just looking to help you out in one tax thing, they're looking to help you out with estate planning. We could talk about estate planning. We didn't even get there yet. We're talking about you finding the team, finding the people, and actually utilizing them. How many people right now can put up their account into Larissa's team? Why? Because it's about a team. If she has 200 years of experience and the accountant you've been dealing with has less than 25 years of experience, but it's your good friend or it's your good family member, why not at least go, you as the entrepreneur investor, and get a second opinion? This is like checking the pulse of your baby, checking the pulse of your blood. What is the pulse of the business? Why not go get a compilation report from her company on your company? Why not go get a second audit on your company? Why not go get an audit from her company on your company? Say, look, this is really how bad shape you're in. This is how much you may have overpaid in taxes. Think about it. She's helping people get money from years past because they didn't get an assessment done. You have to surround yourself with good people. This is what the vault does. Everybody who listens to the vault knows that we don't bring anybody on here. We don't bring everybody on here. We bring the people that we do business with, that we have credibility with, because they can stand. She has more years of experience than almost I've been alive. Almost. That was a good one. Almost though. That was a good one. 30 years of experience. And not only that, when you hear people that have the passion, that have the joy for it, that tell you that they love doing it, they love helping clients save money. People come to the vault and say, oh, I'm going to be in trust and I want to minimize my tax liability. She just told you, and she defends people in front of the IRS. It's perfectly legal. That's where we end the episode. So we encourage you all to reach out and do your due diligence. Reach out, promo code the vault. Y'all can contact her through the description. AbundantReturns.com is still, you can still go there. Just let them know that the vault's recommending you all go there, because we do have a relationship with them, and we want to let you all know that it's important to build those relationships, to keep those relationships, and we're extending that relationship to you all, and we hope that it meets you in good stead. Appreciate you, Larissa. Your energy is just always captivating. It's always, compliments go a long way, and just you as a person, engaging with you, meeting you, even seeing your student mentality when we were at the banking workshop, and just seeing, your humble spirit of asking questions, having such a voracious mentality towards learning something new, whether you knew it or didn't know it. I saw that energy when we were sitting in the room, and I'm really happy that we could get you on for this episode. I'm sure it's going to give people a ton of value, a ton of equity. I'm sure there's a ton of people that are going to reach out to you, because they do need this service and they've been running around blind. And our particular trustees, for sure, there are quite a few trustees. They have been left, and we never really provided that to them, because we always wanted to look for more solid relationships. But you have that relationship that just says, hey, look, they know you have the trust experience. That's the issue. A lot of trustees come in trusteeship and they don't have good accountants that know how to deal with private trust and trust. They don't know about the trust system of charity involved in it. They don't know that. And then when they get in it, They don't know how to because they had their old Uncle Larry or Aunt Susie doing their taxes, or a friend of a friend doing taxes, and now they say, okay, I'm in a superior vehicle. I'm in $1 million vehicle. I need to get in contact with better people. I don't come from money. How do I get in contact with people that can truly help me protect my money, and save me money? So think about, and I'm sure you've heard this, and we're done. Think about how many people say, I don't want to make more money because I don't want to pay more in taxes. And then they come to someone such as yourself that's registered with the IRS, says it's perfectly legal to not think that way.
Right. That's right. Christian, thank you so much. What compliments. I am flattered and humbled.
You're awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Larissa. It's been a pleasure doing this interview with you. I'm sure, after the inquiries with you and even people reaching out to the vault, I'm sure people are going to have maybe some supplemental questions where maybe we could give, maybe client questions that this, once again, just multiple client questions that are pre-questions before they come to you. How much should they be prepared to spend? How much information do they really need to have when they come, for their personal or for their business? Like you say, you have those things, but I think, like you say, even the email, like you say, email that you were going to send over about the rules or whatever it was, I think it's important for people to get the apprehension out the way. Everybody's always apprehensive about this word tax and money and IRS, and it's just like, look, you guys need to really understand this is business, not personal. As long as you guys keep it that way, you'll be perfectly fine. So appreciate you, Larissa. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Please feel free to reach out, abundantreturns.com, promo code the vault, and we look forward to hearing from you all at the vault, Christian at trustchristian.com. Have a great day. Peace.